Hello everybody and welcome to Tween Scene. I'm Miss Lori and today's focus is on Mexico. And I'm going to show you how to make an easy pinata. Here's one that's already made. It's going to look like this. And then also a simple game. It's called the Shoemaker's game. And it's a common game that Mexican kids play like on the playground. So let's get started with the pinata first. So what you need is a paper bag, some treats, of course, to fill in your pinata, some tissue paper, string, and then hopefully some other things that you have around the house, a ruler, a pen, stapler, scissors, glue stick, hole punch to punch holes. Or if you don't have a hole punch, sometimes a pencil will work. All right, so step one is to take your plain paper lunch bag, open it up, and try to get the creases on the side kind of as straight as possible as you can. Then you're going to take your treats, whatever you want to be as treats. You could use little toys, or I have candy. You throw that in. Then you're going to stuff the remaining part of the bag with some crumpled up tissue paper or newspaper or whatever you have. And we're just going to very lightly stick that in there so it gives some shape to the bag. All right. The next step is we're going to close the top up. So we're just going to fold the inner sides in a little bit. I'm going to fold it over twice, about an inch. So fold once and fold twice. And then we're just going to put two staples at the end here. And this is going to close our bag up. All right. So here's our base. Now we're going to get it to look pretty like this one by cutting up some tissue paper and gluing it around the paper bag. So step one for that part is to cut a piece of tissue paper that is a little bit bigger than the base of your bag. And here I have one already cut. I'm going to kind of test it out. And you can see there's a couple inches that kind of surround the base of the bag. All right. So I know this is going to fit. So we're going to put glue all over this tissue paper. And when you do this, tissue paper is really thin, right? So just be careful when you're putting your glue on not to rip the tissue paper. But we want to put it everywhere because we want it to stick to the bottom of the bag and the sides too. Okay. And that's probably good. Then just take your bag, set it right in the middle. Now we're going to act like we're wrapping a present. You guys know how to wrap a present? You fold each side up. Right? Okay, and then the corners, we're going to fold it in, and then the other side is going to go in. And see how it makes this little arrow? Put a little glue there, fold it up, and then do the same thing for the other side. And this just covers up the brown paper part of the bottom, because a pinata is going to hang, right? So you're going to see the bottom. So that makes the bottom look colorful and pretty. Okay, so put that aside. Now we have to make these pretty fringes, right? Because that's what says pinata. I'm going to show you an easy way to do that. So you need 3 pieces of tissue paper, at least. You can use more if you want. But you're going to lay it out flat so it's fully open, okay? Long sides going this way. And then fold up once. You're going to fold it 3 times. So there's twice. Now we're going to fold it one more time. Okay, so now you should have this long rectangle. Now we're going to cut it into strips. And I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to just measure rough 2-inch increments. So this way my ruffles are all about the same width. And I'm just going to do a little mark. It does not have to be perfect. So I'm going to make a mark at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches. That should be plenty of tissue paper to fill this size bag. If you have a bigger bag, then you might need more. But then we're just going to cut where I made the mark. And after you cut it, you're just going to put that aside. Don't unwrap it yet. We'll do one more. And set it aside. So the next part is where we make our fringes. And to do that, we're just going to cut up about a little more than halfway maybe. So like 3/4 of the way up. You don't want to go all the way up because then you'll cut your fringe in half. And we don't want that. Okay, can you see? All the fringes. And then it's time to glue the fringes on. And you just do that with all your pieces that you cut. But you open this all the way up. And it's pretty long, but we're going to wrap it and wrap it around the bag. And that's what's going to make the fringe look really like colorful and full. So take one. Now we are going to put glue all along the top of this. And again, carefully, because it's tissue paper and we don't want it to rip. And you don't need a lot of glue either. So for this first strip, we're going to line it up so that the fringe hits the bottom of the bag, like that. And then try to wrap it around as straight as you can, kind of using that bottom part of the bag as a guide. And see how it's gonna double up here. And the tissue paper is so thin, it just sticks to the glue. You do not need a lot of glue. Okay. And then you would just keep doing that all the way up. We'll do one more. And you can kind of get the idea. Okay. It's windy in here, you guys. All right. So this time we're going to go up just a little bit. So the fringe is going to overlap a little bit, maybe 1/2 inch above where the last one was, the orange strip. Okay. And just go around. And this is really the fun part, because the more you go up, the more your piñata starts to take shape. Okay? And you just keep going until you've gone all the way to the top. And when these are all on, you can fluff up the fringe. Okay? After it's all the way to the top, and you might have trouble like around this part, but just do the best you can. The glue is not going to totally stick there. Just keep wrapping it around and it'll stay. Then after it's all filled up, you're going to punch 2 holes in the top. I have a hole puncher, but I think a pencil would probably work too. And then you would just take your string, loop it through, and your string is going to be as long as you want it to be, depending on where you're hanging it from, and how high you want it to be. But then just tie a little knot and then hang it. And then you have your pinata. The next thing I'm going to show you is a game called the Shoemaker's game. It's pretty easy. It's a 2-player game. And all you need is some kind of like game piece. I have a Lego piece I'm using here, but you could use like a pebble or a rock or whatever. So you have to pick one person to be the person who holds the piece, and then the other person is the guesser. This is really easy, but it's a fun game to do when you're bored. So player 1 would take the piece in their hand, and then I'm gonna put it in one hand, but I'm not gonna show you. Okay. Then I make 2 fists, and I'm gonna move my fists up and down. And while I'm moving my fists up and down, I'm going to say, where does the shoemaker live? Upstairs or downstairs? And then when you're done saying that, you put your hand like this. This is upstairs. This is downstairs. So then the other player has to guess. Is the shoemaker upstairs or downstairs? So say they guess upstairs. Well, I open my hand and there's the piece, so they win. So you can just keep doing that. You can keep points and score and see who gets the most amount of guesses. So that is all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed learning about Mexico, and we'll see you next time. See ya.